Alrighty, guys. Hello and welcome to Chair League, another Chair League match here for myself. And as always, my partner Plague joining me. How's it going, Plague?
Not bad, sir. How are you doing this fine, hot evening?
Well, actually, it's not too hot here. I always complain about the weather, but the crappy wall unit's actually doing an okay job, so it can't be too hot out there.
Nice, nicely done.
So we are going to see this match here between Artem's Angels and Mind Games. So it should be a lot of fun. We're going to be playing this on Sky Temple, and should be a fun match to watch. I don't know if we've casted one on Sky Temple yet.
No, I think this might be our first one, and the teams looks like they are getting into the draft, and we are going to see a Falstead band from Artem's Angels.
Yeah, that's a classic Divine Nine kind of band right there. We either love playing Falstad or hate playing against Falstad, and the global presence that he brings on this map is just invaluable.
Absolutely, and we do see the Li Ming band, which is no surprise, and now Artem's it has the ability to pick up KT if it elects to. But yes, that Falstead is a great pick if you can't get your hands on, especially on a map like this that with that global presence and that's really hard poke that he can sustain out.
Yeah, a pretty surprising ban actually coming out there from for Li Ming coming out of Mind Games, electing to allow Artem's Angels to actually get that KT if they want it. Might be them setting up for a counter KT build though.
That's true, and we are going to see the Angels take KT again. No big surprise if he's on the board, take him. What we'll see now is to see if they're going to respond right here with these two picks, or are they going to wait later in the draft to counter a KT? What do you think would be a great counter for KT?
One of my favorite mage counters right now is actually a new Barak. His ability to burrow in deep into an enemy team's backline, disrupt it, stun, and just in general, he's got good counter against many of the mages and artillery heroes like Li Ming. But Kate, I don't know. I haven't gotten to see him play a whole lot against KT to see if he's as good a counter to KT as he is to Li Ming.
We're going to see Mind Games pick up Thrall, which is a really good pickup right here. Can counter KT with the Lightning, and we're waiting their second pick.
Yeah, just in general, one of the best things to counter KT, along with heroes like Jaina that don't have a whole lot of mobility, is CC. So right away we see them coming out with Thrall, who is a pretty strong pick in general. One of the top tier heroes in the game, but also with his roots, able to if he's able to get to KT, can slow him down and definitely fall upon him. And then we'll also see ETC, yet another hero with tremendous CC. Probably, I would say, arguably the biggest CC hero in the game.
I would agree, but unfortunately, he is very easily countered. And Mind Games electing to take him here is allowing Arsenal's Angels the four picks to counter ETC in his dreaded Mosh pit ultimate. So we'll see
Yeah,
what they do here.
I'm starting to see if this strategy for Mind Games is going to end up living up to their name here, where they might be trying to bait people into countering Mosh Pit here when they may be considering going Stage Dive instead. Baiting out the KT pick so they could counter it, baiting out the counters to ETC when he might be going Stage Dive just to get the global presence that's very important on this map. We'll have to see.
Right, and we do see a Zagara pickup, which again is a great pick, especially in a map like this where Vision does play a very important role when teams are rotating to the altars. Vision may not be important as some other maps that I'm thinking of, but definitely this map would definitely benefit from the added Vision, especially if she puts herself in the bottom lane.
Yeah, one thing I do find interesting about Zagara on this map, though, is the way her creep gets laid out on the ground on this map is more noticeable than any other map because of how bright the floor is. The creep stands out so heavily compared to some of the darker laid maps.
Hmm.
It's a lot easier to get the creep clear because you can clearly see what the circle looks like and where the creep tumor is in the middle of it. But we will also see a Murden pick up here by Artem's Angels, maybe trying to set up a little bit of a well, actually, not really any kind of tank chokehold because they've already got the ETC. But we are going to see Mind Games come out with Rhaegar as they may attempt to apply the healer chokehold here. pick up pick up a healer here in their next two picks, banning Rhaegar so they limit what Artem's Angel can pick up as a healer.
Hmm. Angels do ban out Zool, and we're seeing Zool more and more banned, especially even as first bans, which is interesting because he not too long ago was allowed to play a lot in these competitive type matches. But as we're moving along here into the summer months, Zool gets himself completely banned out constantly now.
Yeah, we're also going to see. So we are going to see them try to apply that. Ooh, Chromie! Oh, sorry, I saw something shiny on the screen and got distracted from what I was saying. The specialist chokehold here, they pick up Zagara and they'll ban out Zol to try and deny Mind Games any kind of decent specialist other than possibly Sylve later on. But they'll pick up Malfurion as their healer, a very interesting pickup, and Chromie. We don't get to see Chromie very much.
Right, we don't, and we've seen both ends of Chromie. You get good Chromie where she's completely devastating, using her abilities very stealthily, hiding in bushes or at max distances, or we've seen the Chromie where it gets completely destroyed because of her low health pool. We'll be interested to see how Mind Games is going to utilize her. So, however, you didn't mention Sylvanas, who I think is arguably probably the best, definitely one of the top 1-2 specialists, and she is still on the board. And Mind Games could pick her up as a last pick, which would be a very devastating pick, especially if Mind Games gets the boss and is able to push that lane heavily.
Yeah, we're also going to see a Artanis pickup here by Artemis Angels. I really love that as a double, double front line with Muradin and Artanis in this
Mhm.
lower CC style that we have now, with the CCs being nerfed, and just in general this whole format being a little bit less CC heavy than it was previously. Having double front line is really, really essential to be able to sustain, especially on a map like Sky Temple where we got these fights over the shrines and the temples. And so we're also going to see them pick up Brightwing. I love Brightwing on this map with the global presence, and again, the ability to help sustain long fights. The longer a fight goes out, the more Brightwing's heals are able to really impact that fight.
Right, Brightwing is a great pickup. She's the only other real major global presence besides the Falstad, but Falstad being banned out, we do get to see the Brightwing come out on the side of Angels, and Angels is elected to take Sonya, very solid pickup as their last pick, and they got a pretty solid front line with that Thrall, ETC, and Sonya. So that tells me that they could be pretty aggressive if they choose to with a front line such as that, and then a nice root kind of combo coming from the Malfurion Chromie. So this could be a pretty devastating team if they are able to dive a little bit and keep the pressure on.
Yeah, a triple front line here for Mind Games. Definitely a lot of protection for Chromie. Definitely a lot of pressure when they decide to go in and contest for these different temples. And we'll have to see what exactly Artem's Angels can do about that. Of course, they have a lot of dive to go after KT, but KT is also notorious for being able to put a lot of pressure on frontline teams. So we'll have to see, depending on how well Artem's Angels can actually protect KT from that dive comp in general. If these fights go on for too long and they aren't able to get to that back line to put too much pressure, I think KT could actually end up being a problem for them.
Possibly, I think I agree with you right there. However, too, if Mind Games cannot handle KT and they have this dive heavy team, and KT is allowed to do what KT does, like spreading living bomb, um, this could be a pretty short match, a short order for Artemis Angels because I think KT's going to play a very linchpin kind of role here. If they handle him, Mind Games might be very successful in this map. If they can't handle him, I think Angels are going to be very successful on this match.
Yeah, we'll have to see how deep they're willing to dive. Malfurion, with Tranquility, is able to put a lot of early fight pressure on with that Tranquility, being able to keep everybody at a pretty high, pretty safe HP. Tends to give people a lot of self-confidence when they go into those fights. They start to dive deep. They're still at high health. They'll keep going. They could actually get to the point where they can take out Kael'thas, Zagara, Brightwing, without too much trouble from the frontliners on the side of Artem's Angels. But ultimately, we'll have to see how this goes. We are loading into Sky Temple here, as we will see. Mind Games are going to be our red team on the right side of the screen, and Artem's Angels, actually. I think I might have misspelled that, so give me just one second.
Arthas or Artem?
It is
Oh, it's
Artem's.
Artems. Yeah, you're good. So if Jay is going to be fixing that, I'll do the introductions for the blue team. So Murden's on Just Damage, DMG. Rev is on KT. Dracone is on Zagara. Mel Lady 8, Brightwing, and Vorsh on Artemis.
And the
And
red
then on the
team,
red,
we're going to see
you got
Mind Games with Shane Sky on Thrall, Golem Zon on Malfurion, Iron Sarge on ETC, Evil Joe on Chromie, and Derelict on Sonya.
looks like Mind Game's able to sniff out that Muradin little stealth move when they were sitting in the bush. Not much going on here in mid game. Looks like Angels allowed Mind Games to get that watchtower, and they're just going to spread out to position right here and get into lane.
Yeah, we are going to see Rev on KT in the bottom, trying to do a little bit of a gank there on Thrall, but Shane Sky will go ahead and back up, have an easy time getting away from that, and ultimately just staying in lane, being able to soak closely, but not too close.
No. And KT does look, or excuse me, ETC looks like he's hiding in the bush, waiting for something to happen here in bot lane. But it looks like nothing is going to present itself for him to come in and disrupt Artem's Angel here in bot lane, and he's elected to go back up.
Yeah, we could tend to see some pretty long matches here on Sky Temple. We will see him
Sure.
start to position very aggressively here. They are going to go after KT, but ultimately the slide will be just a little bit outside.
Just
a little bit outside.
There it is. Finally.
Finally found an excuse to use it. We are going to see the temples spawning here right away. Malfurion going to do a smart move there. Step on it for just a couple seconds there in the mid, steal a couple of those shots. And then we are going to see Mind Games go ahead and rotate to the top. A lot of what happens on this map can be similar to what happens on Garden of Terror, where you have often two different ways to obtain the map objectives. So we'll often see teams just decide to trade rather than go head-to-head, especially here in the early game.
Right.
It's very risky.
Taking a look down bottom, Thrall's electing to stay in lane, which I think is a great idea in the sense of Artem's Angels not coming in to pressure at all this top altar. So he's going to stay in soak, and Brightwing finally sees it and is going to come back down and kind of counter that XP gang.
Yeah, and that's usually what we would see out of a global presence hero, but very smart on the side of Mind Games by just sending Thrall down to do that. But ultimately, Brightwing will go ahead and get down here in time to clear that wave before it hits the wall. So not too effective there. Something where if Thrall had actually just been passively soaking the lane, they might have actually gotten more value out of that.
Sure, right.
But
Ooh, big fight coming
through here in the top as we do see ETC slide in. He's going to get a lot of damage out of Zagara. Zagara caught out here. She's going to be the first to go down. We are going to see KT throwing out those bombs, but ultimately KT very low. ETC is on the chase, and Chromie is going to hit an amazing sand blast there to knock him out. And we're going to see them eventually have to back away from here as they are able to take the fight pretty well there, pretty decisively.
Yeah. My games with a nice 2-0 pickup there, taking out KT and Zagara there, even though I was on top of that altar. Very, very nice. Not a big response from Artem's Angels because they were a little bit spread out, but very well control coming from the side of Mind Games.
Yeah, if we are ever gonna see a comp that is complementary to Evil Joe and that Chromie, it's usually high CC comps. You got Malfurion to be able to throw out the roots. You got ETC who can slide through.
Ooh, the body blocks.
Ooh,
Real.
Huge body blocks.
Yep, or a Tannis. Thinking that he could just slide in and come back out, and no, sir. Not today.
But yeah, where you could slow the heroes down, root them in place, whether that's Thrall, Malfurion. Everybody's got CC on the side of Mind Games, which makes it really easy for Chromie to hit those skill shots.
Right, and we are going to see a little bit of damage going on with Thrall. ETC coming in there to clean up to make sure that there is no more pressure put on Mind Games there. But nice little poke damage going on there between Brightwing and KT here in bot lane.
And top lane, we're just going to see Sonya clearing that out, doing her best to keep the keep the creep free off this top lane. But we are going to see the response from Artanis. So ultimately, they are dominating the top lane. But eventually, we're going to have to see these teams rotate down because the temple will be activating here on the bottom. Always the second phase. We'll see the temple spawn in the bottom.
So here at the bottom lane now, we are going to see the team starting to rotate down, and a lot of teams will try to be like down here, be the first team down here. I don't think that's important. I think finish your lane, clear it out, and then get down. And now we're seeing a big invade with the ETC slide.
We are going to see Chromie getting taken out here. Artanis going very, very deep. Vorsh able to finish off Chromie after KT had gotten a little bit of pressure out.
Ooh,
Meanwhile, Thrall's going to walk away just by the skin of his teeth there. And that is going to give Artem's Angels the first real advantage on this bottom shrine. But we're going to see the return invade by Mind Games. Sonya is going to get very low. They are going to end up killing Artanis here, but ultimately their heroes are going to be too low. They're going to have to walk away from this.
Right. Mind Games electing to go back into that to try to do something on the altar, even though that their heroes were pretty low going in, and they lost Murden and I'm sorry, they lost. Well, actually, I didn't just notice they didn't lose anybody. I was such low health.
They haven't lost anyone, but KT's been putting an enormous amount of pressure out here. But we are going to see level 9 achieved by Mind Games, which is going to give Chromie that ultimate ability, and she is going to be able to bottleneck everybody with that sandstorm there. Is able to just cut everybody off at the escape, and Mind Games was able to fall upon them and take out every remaining member of Artem's Angels.
Yeah, except for Artanis, since he was going back or coming off of his death. Right, nice little counter there coming on the side of Mind Games, and with practically a team wipe kill there as a response to Angels getting those altar shots.
Yeah, they did end up getting the altar shots, but ultimately, I'm not sure that that's really worth considering the XP advantage that's going to end up being gained by Mind Games there. They're also going to take out Brightwing here on the top lane. Brightwing and Muradin getting a little bit too aggressive, trying to get a little too much off that front, that top wall there. And good response there from Mind Games, able to get up there and take out Brightwing.
Mind Games winning the race to 10, looking at their ults. So we could have Sundering for Thrall, Tranquility, no surprise for Malfurion, Mosh Pit for ETC, Chromie's going with the Slowing Sands, and Wrath of the Berserker going for Sonya.
Yeah, no real big surprises there. Pretty standard ults. A little sad to not see Stage Dive, but you know, Mosh Pit is definitely the standard.
And I'm sad as a Sonya player not to see Leap right there. But I get it. I understand it. Angels getting their ults now. Looking at them, Murden's going Avatar, Phoenix going for KT, Maw for Zagara, Blink Heal for Brightwing, and Purify Beam for Artanis, electing not to take the silence.
Yeah, Purifier Beam, a very interesting choice there. We'll have to see if that ends up paying off. If we see some monster Maws, that could be very effective coming out of the Maw if they're able to do anything to slow down the teams coming out of the Maw. We'll have to see if they can really take advantage of that.
Mind Games electing to take getting 2 mercenary camps before rotating down into a altar to apply pressure both in top lane with those mercenary camps pushing and here in bottom lane. A lot of pressure coming on the side, put on the side of Artem's Angel Hill by Mind Games with these early kills and early camp completions, I guess is the word.
Yeah, they are going to be able to capture those camps. We are going to see Artanis respond to it in the top lane, but ultimately, with all these members of Mind Games down here in the bottom, nobody feeling safe to rotate down until finally we are going to see KT respond to this bottom camp, but it's going to be a little bit too late. They're going to lose the first 4 to the game, and we are going to see them start the boss.
Wow, yeah, they were posing, they were looking to do some sort of a gank for anybody that was going to come down and respond to those bottom mercenary camps, but since nobody came, they said, heck, why not? Let's do boss. And they're going to get away with this, Jay.
Yeah, nobody's going to scout this out until it's too late. Finally, we're going to see KT come in, but he and Brightwing can't really do anything. Nobody else in a position to really counter it. They're going to get the top fort off of this, but ultimately this boss, we'll have to see how much damage it does.
Murden deleting.
Ooh.
Yeah, Murden got caught out there a little bit in the rotation as Mind Games was coming up to respond to top lane, and he had no place to go. Completely just getting zoned out and CC'd.
Yeah, right now, Mind Games doing a really great job of rotating together, coordinating as a team. I really like what I'm seeing coming out of them so far.
Uh, Even though it looks like Mind Games early in this particular match as the favorite, here we are seeing the levels even out at 13. Mind Games does have an XP advantage in this level, almost at 14 right now. But Angels has made it pretty close perspective into the levelings of these teams. So we'll see if there's going to be any sort of big move here with the next engagement.
And we are going to see an invade on this Bruiser camp here. Artem's Angel is trying to capture this, but ultimately all 5 members of Mind Games are going to come in here. We're going to see the mosh pit come out is going to hit 4 members, and we are going to see a huge gain from that. As right away, Muradin and Zagara are taking out. A lot of members getting pretty low here. KT is going to be the next to fall. Brightwing trying to get away. Artanis not even present for this. So all 4 members that were around were hit by that mosh pit. A brilliant mosh there by Iron Sarge.
Right, Thrall trying to chase a little bit too hard to get Brightwing underneath Angel's fort right there and got killed based off of the tower. But other than that, really well sought out little pressure invade coming on the side of Mind Games.
Yeah, we're going to see them steal that camp. Go ahead and just take a couple steps back to be able to get that top tower down. They're going to put a little bit of pressure here on mid, and they're still going to be able to make a strong rotation on down to the bottom temple. And they're going to even invade here and steal the siege camp on their way down.
Right, and they still haven't gone down to the bottom altar here.
We are going to see a little bit of an engagement here. They're going to try and put
those
a little bit of
roots.
pressure here. The Phoenix comes out. Ultimately, though, Zagara is going to be in a lot of trouble. Sonya in the backline doing a lot of damage, but she's going to end up getting blown up for her trouble. Artanis zoning in on Chromie here. Maybe a little bit too focused on Chromie, though, as he's going to take a lot of damage and is going to get taken out. Malfurion low, but is going to take a step back and start to heal his team. Chromie putting out a little bit of pressure as Muradin is caught out here. Muradin in the middle of all these team members, where Brightwing doesn't have a whole lot of health or mana, and ultimately the backline didn't have enough health to be able to get in there. So we're going to see Muradin go down. Zagara is going to get caught out a little bit too close, and even though a lot of health, a lot of low health heroes here for Mind Games, ultimately they're going to be able to come out of this with a 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 trade.
Right, and that's been the story of this match so far. Even though that one or two one or so deaths come on the side of Mind Games, they're able to counter that with 2, 3, or even more kills, and making that death that they do get really non-issue for them. So they're doing a tremendous job of focusing down, and Malfurion is healing his butt off, making sure that his team stays up as long as possible. And like I said, we still haven't seen this bottom altar be used yet, and they're finally getting to it.
Yeah, and being very smart about allocating their resources here. Only sending originally ETC down to do it, and then sending Sonya down to help out to get a little bit more, a little bit less damage pressured on ETC here. But ultimately still sending a lot of their heroes around to do other things. Even sending Malfurion and, kind of an odd rotation there, but sending Malfurion and Chromie up to do that top bruiser camp, getting a lot of harass out on Zagara. My goodness, the skill shots there. Ultimately, we are going to see Artem's Angels steal that camp, but at what cost there is Muradin taking a lot of pokes. Zagara is going to be caught out. A huge Sunder coming in, the slide coming in to slow down Muradin, and it looks like he is going to have a really hard time getting out of here. So they're going to lose Zagara, and the chase is on for Malfurion. Or Muradin,
I don't know. Muradin might get out. Oh, they got Brightwing ETC. Mosh pit. Oh, there it is.
Brightwing trying a little bit too hard to save his buddy there. Ultimately, they're both going to end up paying for
that. My goodness. Nicely done on the side of Mind Games with that chase, and then being able to come at that chase from multiple directions there. ETC with that killer mosh pit. Well done.
Yeah, they are able to get in there and steal the camp, but, again, I say, at what cost here? As, they're going to get some serious damage done to this front wall, but that's really it. They're out of ammo, but ultimately not even any real XP gained off of that, and they end up losing 3 members for the trouble.
Right, it looks like they're trying mind game, setting up for a boss bait or capture here. However, even though my Angels have 2 heroes down, they're very low death timers here, and we're going to see some sort of an invade or a team fight, possibly over this boss.
Yeah, they're trying to lay the trap here. They're trying to see if they can catch anybody out here. I love what Mind Games are doing here, really living up to the name of their team. Just kind of
Ooh,
waiting,
look
not
at
being
this.
too aggressive.
Oh, okay. I thought they were going to go around and try to flank Angels there, but they're just saying, forget it. We're going to go back and get these start these altars and see what we can do here.
Well,
We do have them.
they are playing the Chinese bush meta as well as
Yeah.
I've ever seen it in the U.S. They are literally sitting around just waiting to find where exactly Artem's Angels are. They're finally going to find their engagement here on this mid-temple. We're seeing Artanis going ham here after Chromie, while this bottom fight rages on. Many of the members of Artem's Angels getting very low. Actually, both teams really, as Muradin trying to keep Chromie up here, but the Purifier Beam's going to knock out Chromie. We're going to see Thrall go down along with KT and Artanis on the other side, and this is still raging on here. We got Muradin and Zagara that are very low. Brightwing just blinking all around this team fight, trying to keep her team up and keep out of harm's way, while ultimately ETC and Malfurion are all that's left on the side of Mind Games right now.
Right, Mind Games was had a nice little setup, little bush gank going on right there beneath the watchtower, but they allowed themselves to be separated by Artanis going ham on Mind Games' back lane, and the melee did not come up to support it. Thusly, Mind Games losing three people to that exchange because their healer was up with Chromie trying to defend off Artanis, and so a nice little turn of events there for Artem's Angels, and kudos to Artanis to really separate the Mind Games team out there to get those 3 kills.
Yeah, it set up a nice little 4v3 in the bottom half of that team fight, while Artanis was able to, like you said, to distract 2 of the members all to himself there. But we are going to see a fight over the top temple. 4 of the members of Artem's Angels are rotating up. They're going to push Sonya off of this, but all 5 members looking to make an aggressive rotation. As Zagara is going to be caught here, and it looks like she is going to be in abject horror here. There is no way she's going to get out with all those CCs. She is going to go down, and then we're going to see them rotate up here. This could end up being very ugly for Artem's Angels, as this is going to end up being
There's the Sunder.
The Sunder's going to come out and split them up. They're going to go
and the Mosh.
after KT. The Mosh comes out. They're going to knock out KT. Brightwing is separated from his team in the back. There's no way he's going to get out of this either. Ultimately, they're going to take out Artanis, and now again, Muradin's on the run, and I guess I should take it back. Maybe well, no, Brightwing's definitely
not now. No, he's done. Oh, yeah, no.
There it is. Muradin will get out, though. But, yeah, just a really unfortunate situation there. Zag getting caught out away from her team, trying to finish up that temple. Not really knowing exactly where Mind Games might come from there. Decided to try to rotate up towards her team, but got caught off from that rotation, and now this is going to be a perfect opportunity for them to go get boss.
Right, so with this boss pickup here, we should see Mind Games push with this as well to at least get a keep, if not more. Death timers are still relatively, quote-unquote, a little bit not at its fullest yet, so the potential value could be limited here, depending. But we'll see an immense amount of pressure come from this boss and push that will come right after this, and it looks like Thrall's going to get this camp right next to it too.
Yeah, this is going to be an opportunity for an end game situation. This could be lethal in terms of Mind Games putting on all this pressure with double siege camp and boss, with all 5 members rotating down here very aggressively. However, it's all going to depend on the defense of Artem's Angels. Both teams have 20, so all of the Storm talents are in play here. But if they lose 1 or 2 members here, this is just going to be over.
Right, absolutely. Like you said, this is definitely a winning condition for Mind Games here with this boss push, and then these mercenary camps coming behind it. But they haven't fully engaged yet, but here comes the Phoenix. And Artanis' beam, Malfurion is going to get deleted by that beam. Wow.
Malfurion gets taken down right off the bat. A strong defense here, but meanwhile, we do have ETC on the back line just getting after both Zagara and KT. KT is going to make it out, but ultimately we are going to see Zagara go down, and Muradin being caught way out there. The Sundering's going to come in and knock around KT. They are going to be able to get to him. Brightwing is going to be the only one left, and that has got to be gameplay.
That it is. I'm getting the button out right now. Nice little defense coming out on the sides of Artem's Angels there, but just wasn't too much with those the boss push. And then Artanis was a little bit late getting to the party and trying to flank to behind there. Nice little beam coming out to get Malfurion. But ultimately, yes, good job. GG for Mind Games.
Yeah, ETC doing a really good job of getting into the back line and disrupting them. He did end up paying with his life, but the damage was already done at that point. And just the siege pressure, the boss, and they're able to keep just enough of their members up to be able to take this down and finish this game off, with or without the temples.
Right. And they didn't really use the temples at all in this last exchange. Getting that boss pickup along with those two bottom mercenary camps with that pushing in. Tremendous amount of pressure coming in from the bot lane. And ultimately, even though Angels put up a nice defense there, Mind Games was victorious in that. Pretty decisive match all around for Mind Games. They pretty much had control of that entire match for the entire time. So very well done on the shot calling that was there. Malfurion doing a nice job with some timely heals and timely tranquilities coming out. But I'm a big Mosh ETC fan, so I really liked his ETC's timely Moshes right there. So my MVP vote is going to go biasly to ETC.
Yeah, and I'm not as big an ETC fan, but I would still give him the MVP on that match. Iron Sarge doing a great job, not only with his mosh pits that were definitely monstrous, but also being able to just in general get into the back line and just disrupt. Sonya, that's usually her job, but ETC being a little bit more tanky, able to get back there, get CC out on KT and Zag to be able to disrupt what they really do, which is sit back and damage the frontliners. And so his ability to disrupt in the back line, I think, is a lot of what made the difference here. And we would be remiss to not look at some of the numbers, particularly Thrall, getting a lot of damage out. Some of the sunderings that came out from him from
Very
Shane
key.
Sky were also very on point.
Right, there were 10, and he arguably could get the MVP P2, 10 and 2, 10 kills coming on the side of him. And I have to mention that this did come down to that KT pick. I mean, if KT didn't play a very major role at all in the map, in the match at all, even though he did get the highest hero damage on his team, but I felt that he was pretty passive. He wasn't able to get off his abilities as cleanly as other KTs could. The Phoenix coming in pretty timely, doing some nasty damage, but that was pretty much it. I mean, this came down to that KT pick. Is Mind Games going to be able to handle that? And they did. They handled KT, I thought, very well. KT only getting 2 kills, but also having 6 deaths. As well. So we're looking at the final kill score. Mind Games at 30, Artem's Angels at 9.
Going to take a little peek at the talents here before we log on off and get ready for the next one. Anything out in particular that stands out to you? We see Chromie going with the Q build, obviously, getting the extra range. Slowing Sands was interesting and pretty intricate as they got that level 9 on that second Temple phase on the bottom, able to cut them off from being able to get out. A pretty incredible play there by Evil Joe on Chromie. Really taking advantage of that passive, where she's able to get that talent one level ahead of time and make a big difference at level 9.
Yeah, I'm not looking at Sonya here electing to go Iron Pain to reduce damage. Electing to go with a little bit more of a tanky build, try to counter a little bit of ETC to help him along, since he isn't quite the tankiest tank of the bunch. So Sonya electing to go Nerves of Steel at the 16 pick and Iron Pain at the Storm talent. So nice little synergy going on between both of them, I thought. But everything else, looking at the talents, looked pretty standard. Nothing too out of the ordinary.
Yeah, the quintessential dive comp really coming out from Mind Games. Like I said, letting them get KT and then building against KT very beautifully. I thought that was a great game, a great strategy from them.
And so, we had a good Chromie match on top of that too. Chromie, I thought, did an excellent job at 8 and 2 kills and deaths.
Yeah, definitely building CC to make it a little bit easier for Evil Joe on Chromie to be able to hit those skill shots, which is the toughest part with Chromie, is being able to keep your opponents still long enough to actually hit them with those big wind-up times.
Right.
Well, thank you to both teams for stepping on out. Congratulations to Mind Games for getting the win here. Thanks again to Artem's Angels for letting us cast, and we're we're going to go ahead and throw up the shameless self-promotions.
There you
guys
go.
will be able to check this match out on YouTube, which we'll be uploading tonight. You'll be immortalized forever on YouTube, of course. And you can always check me or Plague Out on our Twitch channels. We like to broadcast regularly for these Chair League matches that we're going to be doing more and more often as this goes along. And
Right.
I'm trying to get my Facebook up. I should probably actually do something with that since I have it up on my self-promotion. But someday I'll start posting stuff on there.
Yes.
So, thank you very much for joining us, guys. And as always, Plague, thank you very much for casting along with me, buddy. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. My pleasure as well. Take care, guys.